Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another video. Today, we are reacting to a new channel. Uh, is this the average male fantasy shoe on head? Let's see it. Do we like it? Do we not like it? We about to find out. We about to find out. This is a different type of content that is typically on this channel, so I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, smash that like, comment, subscribe to all the stuff. Let's get into the news.
Men. What do they
Men,
want? Money? Status? Fast, expensive cars? What is the ultimate male fantasy? Is it fame? Fortune? Three hot chicks at once?
hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah, brother. No,
Yeah,
according
brother,
to men on the
preach.
internet,
Preach, brother.
it's something a little more simple.
W movie. Dude, it's so
This is
good.
literally just a fetish. I fucking hate men so much.
Bro, the only people leaving these comments in these hate threads are just fat chicks that haven't been laid since like 1999. So I'm sorry, man. It's your fault. It's your fault. Change it. Change it.
Men are why we can't have nice things.
Here we go.
As I was working on an upcoming video, I made the terrible mistake of logging onto Twitter, where I saw
Of course. It any type of video that exists like this that is controversial in any way either has Twitter or Blue Sky attached to it in some way, shape, or form. Oh, and Reddit. Can't forget about Reddit.
this post. A montage from the anime Josie, the Tiger, and the Fish, a movie about a college student who is assigned to take care of a paraplegic girl, and spoiler, eventually
It's so good. I mean, she almost fucking gets him killed, to be fair. To be fair, she almost got the guy killed, but it all works out. We're chilling. For everybody who was like afraid that this is like a sad ending type of movie, no, you're good. You're good. You're good, bro. You're good. It won't throw you into a manic depression. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
they fall in love. Many men were yearn posting in the replies of this tweet and talking about how they wish to fall in love and would love a relationship like this, while many
True.
others, mostly women, were absolutely fing disgusted at this.
Of
Why would a
course.
bunch of men be fantasizing about being with a woman in a wheelchair? Seems pretty creepy and
See, that's already where women have gone wrong. They went straight to the fact that, oh, it's a fetish. Oh, he's fantasizing. Oh, listen, we as men are very sexual creatures. I'm not going to pretend that we're not, right? But we're not blind to the fact that we want something more than just that. I mean, we can get physical with anybody we want to get physical with and cut it off there and just not get any more involved. But I think truly what settles us down is that person who is somehow astronomically above and beyond that you just can't see a world without them. That's the ultimate goal at the end of the day. That should be the ultimate goal for everybody in general. But unfortunately, the internet exists and people like to compare themselves to every little reel and TikTok and YouTube short that they see every day, Instagram, and it ruins their perspective. And they think the world is some crazy toxic place when, in general, in public, you can simply talk to another person and they won't like throw you into this fucking absolute charade. Uh, so I get it. I get it. I know some people who haven't touched grass. They think the world is some crazy toxic. Everybody's at war. The genders, different races, but that's just not how the world works. If you go outside, everybody is still continuing to just live out their life, going to their favorite coffee shop, going to work every day, going to a restaurant to eat. Like Everybody's just being normal. Like what you see through your computer screen, through your mobile device is not the same as walking outside and being a part of the real fucking world.
Predatory, right? Also, just unrealistic and problematic. Well, in this
Yeah.
video, we are going to be talking about why so many men resonated to that clip and this movie, and why so many people are so confused.
Before everybody gets in the comments and tries to say cap, 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 you've never seen this, you don't get down with the shit. Hold on. There it is. Josie the Tiger and the Blowfish. I literally own the fucking Blu-ray. You don't. Just saying. Just saying. This shit was so good. So yeah, you can delete your comment now. I
Confused as to why. We're also going to be
oh
reading some absolutely unhinged tweets, as usual, to get to the bottom of why such a wholesome post turned into, once again, another battlefront for the ongoing, never ending gender war. Men versus women versus men, the male loneliness epidemic, the
I
female loneliness epidemic, the dealing with dating.
yeah, I do want to like make it very clear that this is very much not a social norm. Like this war that you're a part of online doesn't exist in real life. Like 99% of the entirety of the US is not doing this type of bullshit. Maybe at whatever crazy fanatic rally that you go to, there might be some dudes and chicks screaming at each other and shit. But in general, at your local Walmart, going to fucking Costco, going to the restaurant, going to work, like everybody is just being themselves. They're being normal. There's no war. We all get along great. I literally just bought lunch for my coworker today because she went above and beyond earlier this week to help me get some stuff done. So we literally sat down, shared a lunch together, had a great conversation. Like life is so simple. It's so simple. Just don't be a piece of shit. And majority of the time, like 99% of the time, people won't be a piece of shit back to you. You can even get people who are having a bad day and start off being a piece of shit to you. If you're nice to them, 9 times out of 10, their attitude will switch because they feel bad. So it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. People just carry like this bad mentality into everything, and then they wonder why they end up in these situations.
Dating apps. Do men prefer thin women or curvy women? Brunettes or blondes? Do women like dad bods or fit men? Do they like beards or clean shaven? Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Let's quickly get into today's sponsor, Henson Shaving.
Yeah, a sponsor time. Shave it up.
Tourist of all the tourists. Uh, yeah, hi. I have a question. Was the upskirt shot necessary
Yes, it's always necessary. It's never not necessary.
in order to advance the plot?
Also, yes.
I watched Pokemon and Sailor Moon when I was a kid, and a few years ago I watched
True.
Beastars on Netflix. Legoshi, best boy. Not a furry, by the way. And honestly, that's about it for my anime consumption. Unless you're counting VTubers. If you're
Oh, she one of those? I never got into it, man. There's a couple that I watch. Like there's one there's a Japanese VTuber named Cassie. She's like a little fox girl thing. Pretty adorable. Pretty adorable. I reacted to a couple of her videos. Pretty fun. Iron Mouse. I watch Iron Mouse. Uh, oh, Maury Calliope. Maury Calliope. I do subscribe to her.
If you're counting VTubers, I watch a lot of anime. But because of this clip going viral, I watched Josie the Tiger and the Fish, and well, I thought it was a good movie. I recommend
Oh, it's so good.
watching it. I thought it was a really cute, good story. I only cried a little bit, and I completely
I didn't cry at all. The only anime movie that broke me to tears was A Silent Voice.
understood what the tweet meant by calling it the average male fantasy. So, what was wrong with it? Why did this clip go so viral in such a negative way? Why were thousands of people angry at this post? Well, let us dilly-dally no longer and read some of these angry replies to get a better understanding of what the issue is, shall we? Wholesome male fantasy, and it's fetishizing a disabled girl for him to control.
Hold on, before we get deep into this, I noticed lately, watching a lot of romance stuff, right? What is the weird obsession with Japanese anime romance movies and having some sort of weird sci-fi twist to them? This has been happening a lot lately, and it has left me questioning a lot of things. Because like lately, like the couple of movies that I've watched so far, um, like it starts off with the either like one of them was like the male or was it the girl or was it the dude? I think like one of them got like turned down, and then like all these movies have like a weird theme of like either the female lead or the male lead just disappearing from reality, and it's just like what the fuck? What the hell happened? And it completely loses the plot for me because I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna get into this. It's gonna be some like cute like romance thing. One of them, like the girl, like starts off like the guy like steps in as she's like being bullied or whatever when they're in school, but then it turns out she's like a witch or a wizard or some shit. It- and then I was just like, where, what happened? What's going on? I thought this was gonna be like some movie about bullying, and then he's like the knight in shining armor type shit, and there's a lot of drama, and they get married eventually. But no, she's a fucking wizard, and I'm like, wait, what? Oh, wait, what? When did she become a mage?
Control. Oh! Oh no. They think, oh god, why? Always vulnerable, always happy, always needs you. Pretty perverted.
Wow,
Where are these fan fictions coming from?
these are definitely ugly, used up American women for sure. That's 100% the people leaving these comments and these hate threads. 100%. Like they're either fat or they're women that look like train tunnels and who are now like past the age of 30 and are scared that they'll never be able to have a kid because nobody wants them anymore. That's unfortunate for you, but nobody gives a shit. You made your choices. You got to live with them. Sorry, not sorry, bro.
There were like hundreds of tweets just like this. Why did they see a cute montage of a happy couple, a man and a woman happy?
Because they're jealous. They're jealous. They know they're not going to have that. The only thing they're going to have is like 6 cats.
Together. I know, unheard of. Why did they see that and then immediately come to these conclusions? Like, as someone who actually watched the movie, Josie is not always happy, and she's absolutely not
No, hell no. Hell no, she wasn't always happy. She was a fucking asshole. Oh my God.
portrayed as some like
You want to talk about difficult to deal with? For like the first like half of the movie, up until the point she almost got the fucking guy killed. She literally was a pain in the fucking ass to deal with.
vulnerable, ooh-woo, sex doll waifu. She's boisterous, she kind of has a foul mouth, she's very sassy and
True.
headstrong. She like straight up calls him her servant, but she was also very depressed. She basically never left her house. She was basically a girl failure. As a former girl failure, I love to see representation in media. But they actually
Damn.
show her disability,
Damn.
like, not in a good way. Like, they don't romanticize it, they don't sugarcoat it. And I noticed, unlike a lot of movies,
True.
unlike a lot of
I think that's also like what hit me so hard with like A Silent Voice too, was like when the scene came where the girl was trying to confess to the boy, and she said it as best as she could, but because she's deaf, she can't like enunciate the words she needs to in order to make them sound like comprehensible. And then seeing him not understand it broke my fucking heart, man. That was so brutal to watch. Oh my god.
romance movies, at least like the Hallmark kind, where it's like the stuffy male lead learning to live life from the quirky, cute female lead. He's already got his shit together, and she learns to live life from him. He encourages
True.
her to live her dreams, and in return,
true.
he learns to live life in a completely different way. And I thought that was really cool and sweet. Also, the animation was really good. Is anime
Oh my god,
good?
it was
Have I been
crazy.
sleeping
It
on
was
anime
crazy.
this entire time? His fantasy is that she becomes permanently disabled and helplessly dependent on him, but can still make him a sandwich. Sounds about right. Oh my god,
What
after watching
the
the movie, these
fuck?
tweets are even more insane. But
How
even
how far are they willing to reach? That's insane. I'm actually kind of curious, like the crazy shit that she found for this video.
putting the movie aside, just seeing that like cute montage out of context, where the fuck are they getting this? These are very clearly just two happy people. But because the caption
True.
was the average male fantasy, their mind immediately goes to the darkest, worst faith interpretation of this. The problem
Yep.
is these people can't see any humanity in men. They
And like the crazy part is like they're simply just being man hating online, but I guarantee they wouldn't even be making those comments if they actually watch the movie. So it's not only telling that they're just man haters, and maybe vice versa. I'm sure there's some guys in there trying to fucking wage their war back with them. But you can definitely tell they haven't seen the movie, because otherwise it wouldn't be in the comments, because that movie is so insanely fucking good in the way that it tells its story that you would never jump into a comment section like this except to defend the movie itself and tell them that they're freaking lunatics.
can't see any humanity in humanity in general. Average male fantasy equals girlfriend with no agency who's completely physically dependent on you and forced into blanket
Every time, what is up with the physically dependent part? It's always they're dependent on the man. That's why they like them, because they're dependent. They're dependent. And this is the person that spouts off that they're a strong, independent woman, yet they go to work on the sidewalk and the road that was paved by a man. They drive in a car that was probably manufactured or invented by a man. Like it's what are we doing? Like what are we doing? You can't live in a world without men. Stop pretending. Stop pretending you're some fucking independent, I don't need a man bullshit woman. Like I swear to God, bro. This is exactly why, like, passport bros, that's why that concept even exists, is because y- people are tired of like getting into the dating pool, and then they run into some girl like that, and then they get a bad taste in their mouth for any other girl, even though there's plenty of good ones out there still. If you're an American boy, you're an American man, look, bro, don't get your hopes down. There are actual normal women out there. Not all of them are the crazy, floozy, fucking lunatics that you see online. All right. Maybe that one girl at the club, maybe you should go for her. Plenty of people did before you. She'll be fine.
subservience and compliance. Sounds about right. You males are weird for fetishizing physically disabled women. Average male fantasy is having a physically disabled girl that they can abuse however they want.
That's dark. Oh my God.
Got it. Not to be that guy. I'm gonna be that guy. The
Listen, listen.
abuse however they want. Got it. Not to be
I was gonna say this before, but ma'am, I need you to find a better source of caffeinated cocaine, okay? Like this, my friend, you're killing yourself here. You're killing yourself. And these aren't even that strong. Like you could at least drink like the full on like regular flavor, like diesel fuel. If you really want to get some shit done, that's the way to go. But how you drink these is beyond me. I drink Bangs for the most part, or Gorilla Mind, or something like that that I can get from GNC because I like the ingredients way better. Sometimes Ghost. I'll drink Ghost sometimes, but that's about it.
Be that guy. I'm gonna
Monster
be
just
that
ain't
guy.
for me no
The
more.
infantilization of the physically disabled here is a little, dare I say, ableist. The implication
True.
here that people in wheelchairs cannot find love, and if they do, the person who loves them literally just loves them because they can't run away. Weird. Weird.
That is weird. That's so fucking weird.
Average men can't even be nice to their healthy and normal girlfriend. What makes you think they'll be able to handle disabled person
Wow.
as their lover?
This is definitely person who just got out of something toxic, and it was probably them. They were the toxic one. But even though, I mean, let's be honest, like that's a lie. It takes two people to fucking tango and make a toxic relationship happen. So it's not as often where it's literally one person who just literally is clinically insane and they just abuse the other person. Generally speaking, like there's something that happened that escalated up to that point, and it's one of those things where you have to ask the question, why did it come to this? And you have to analyze each person, what led up to this moment, how could they as individuals handled it better to avoid this altogether. But people don't have that level of like level-headedness and communication skills to be able to sit down and really like comprehend but also like bounce back with their point of view on things without getting into like some crazy argument or emotionally unstable about something that somebody said, like, and getting defensive. Like it's just one of those things that you have to be a good communicator to make a relationship last, and that's tough nowadays, especially because like before it was kind of easy, right? Because like majority of people, you didn't have like cell phones, you didn't have computers to be able to talk to each other and shit. You had to go outside. Like if you wanted to make a move on that girl, you had to make a move on that girl then and now, because who knows when the fuck you're gonna see her again. You had to go up front to her, be honest, and say, "Hey, I think you look beautiful. Let's go on a date. Can we meet up at a coffee shop on Saturday?" And you know, that's the type of like precedent you had to set. You had to be confident. And you had to go up to somebody. But nowadays, a lot of people don't do that anymore because they try to do it online. They try to do it through dating. They try to do it through Instagram, TikTok, freaking. I know like a friend of mine right now, the girl that he is talking to in a romantic sense, he met her through TikTok. So and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I am saying times have changed, and I guarantee you they're going to have communication issues more often than they would have met at a different time where there wasn't that electronic barrier between the two, and you actually had to sit down and have a conversation.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Normal? What do you mean by normal? These people are just so ableist, chat. Can you believe it? Chat? Chat? I don't even live stream. Who's chat? I'm disabled, blind, so I showed this to my boyfriend. He says, I love you because you're you, and you make my days happier. So what if I have to drive you places or help you with cooking and cleaning? I would have done that anyway. Disability has nothing to do with it. I love you. Ma'am, I don't know how to tell you this, but, your boyfriend is a rapist. Sorry you had to find out this way. You show this as
Damn.
fantasy because it's not true for the majority of men who participate in abuse of disabled people. No, the fantasy is the woman appreciates his efforts to make her happy. Stop lying and abusing women and the disabled.
Your meds, schizo.
You don't even know that f***ing guy. What do you mean stop abusing
Damn.
women and the disabled? Bitch, who are you? Also, the majority of men participate in abuse of disabled people. Are you okay? The majority of men are not abusers. That is a very, very small minority of men. The majority of men are men that just wake up, take a shit, get out of bed, take a shower, go to work, come home, and wait for GTA 6 to come out. That is the majority of men. Men commit 95% of all rape, but okay. Barging into the romance section of Barnes & Noble like, attention everyone! Rape! Where is that coming from? So close, this is fetish content. Ah yes, the dirtiest, most
fuck,
taboo
man?
of all fetishes. A happy relationship. Honestly, in 2025, that might be true. Oh, you want a wife and kids? You sick fuck. But this is literally just a perverted fantasy element.
Bro, this is what I'm saying. This is why I said they haven't seen the movie, bro. They 100% wouldn't be saying this if they watched the movie, but they didn't. They did an IGN review. They watched the first like 3 minutes. It was like, oh, I know where this is going.
Mayo. You think it's a perverted fantasy because, how do I put this nicely? You are a pervert. Literally seeing a cute montage of a male and female character having fun together, being in love together, and being like, rape! He's a rapist! This is a fetish! Are these people okay? Stop watching porn. Wait, this is a woman. Okay, stop reading Taken by the Werewolf Billionaire. Or whatever the fuck you read. I
What
swear to
the
God, some of
hell?
the shit women read would make the most depraved internet gooner blush. Or so I've been told. This is literally just a fetish. Okay, listen, I'm not gonna pretend there's nobody out there who's like, she can't run away, she has no legs. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend there's nobody out there who has a crippled, disabled fetish, okay? I've been on the internet for 20 years.
Yeah, there's a reason why Rule 34 has its own website. Just saying. That means there are so many fetishes that exist that they needed its own website to host them because they were used to be anyway on Reddit. But they now have their own dedicated website because there are now so many.
I've been on DeviantArt. I've seen shit you wouldn't believe. But the
True.
majority of people, probably most, if not all the people responding to this, do not have a cripple fetish, okay? In fact, her being in a wheelchair basically has nothing to do with it. Much like how females coom over, like, vampires or, like I said before, the billionaire werewolf.
Oh my god, bro. When Twilight was still popping, that was the most annoying shit I ever had to live through. Oh, I just had to constantly hear, oh, Team Edward, oh, Team Jacob, oh, Team fucking blow my goddamn brains out, you sick fuck. Stop talking about that show or movie or whatever the fuck it was. I'm so sick of it, dude. Even now, I can't stand it, bro.
Fantasy. This is just the average male fantasy distilled down to its most extreme. So what is the average male fantasy? The average male fantasy is the fantasy of both men and women alike. It is simply to love and to be loved. But more specifically, the male fantasy is to be a protector and a provider for those that they love. Put a pin in this because we are going to come back to this in a big way, trust me. The average male fantasy is
shit.
being a globally known terrorist. The average male fantasy is that a woman who is
Wait, wait. The average male fantasy is being a globally known terrorist? I'd have to agree. If being a globally known terrorist is being Sid Kagano, I can agree with this statement.
Fantasy is being a globally known terrorist. The average male fantasy is that a woman who isn't fat.
Facts! Oh my god. You know how I know this? Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade has been fucking popping on Steam. How do you spell this shit? Oh my god, I hit the wrong button. Yerp. Yerp.
The average male fantasy is actually job security. You know what? These guys may have a point
That one? True. True.
here. Pedophile alert. Men want disabled child wives.
What
Average
the
male
fuck?
fantasy is a disabled child. More proof that men are pedos. That's a little girl. This is weird. So, first of all, she's literally older than the guy. The guy is
True.
22 and she is 24.
She probably just looks a lot younger. One, because like that's just Japanese animation style. Two, she's fucking disabled. It's not like she's out here fucking walking the streets with everybody else every fucking day. She's a shut in, disabled person. She's gonna be a bit malnourished, most likely.
Anime years, he is practically hag maxing. And yes, she may be physically disabled, but aren't all men mentally disabled in their own special way?
That's fucking rude. What were we talking about?
At least the ones in my audience. They will freely admit this. Maybe she, the older woman, is taking advantage of this sensitive young man. Have you ever thought of that? She looks like an 11-year-old child. Where are her breasts? First of all,
There's so much wrong with that question.
really weird way to say that. She looks like a child. Show me her titties. Also, I love how, like, when anime women have huge boobs, it's disgusting.
I've been too far into this fucking rabbit hole that I remember this too well. I don't know if you guys remember, but when this show when this show came out, Twitter was on fucking fire. Oh my god, was it on fire. And it was all based around the fact that she had large boobs. Like this was like such a huge thing on Twitter like when this show first aired. And then literally they're like her portion sizes are not like natural. And then like what was it like maybe it was like 2 or 3 days later somebody literally posted a real life person with her exact dimensions and it was nuts. And it was nuts. It was crazy. That took the internet by storm when this came out. It was nuts. Oh man, it just made me think of that. That was so good, bro. Also, W Show, by the way, go check it out.
Brain or whatever. But if the anime woman has small boobs, she is a child and you're a chimo. Can't fucking win. Also, if she had big boobs, they'd absolutely be like, wow, look at this sexualization of the disabled. Also, you know, like,
I think I realized something about women a long time ago is that if you don't have something for them to keep them busy, they look for things to make problems to keep you busy. So I've learned that it's best to either keep a distance and let them keep themselves busy and just not be a part of that world, or if you are going to be serious with somebody, find a way to keep them busy. Hobbies, fucking buy her something that she wants to use to do a certain task. Like, keep them busy. Otherwise, they will find things to complain about, and then they will keep you busy because they want you to solve it. So it's like this weird, like, back and forth that doesn't need to happen if everybody's just busy. And I'm not saying that, like, there shouldn't be moments for downtime. Obviously, you need downtime for intimacy and all this stuff. Right. But boredom causes a lot of issues. And we're in a standpoint where there's when you are with a partner and things become a bit easier, like chores take half the amount of time because you're both are pitching in hypothetically. Well, not even hypothetically, you should be pitching in. uh Chores get done super easy. All your bills are cut in half at this point because you're hopefully you guys are far enough along that you're living together and whatnot. So once you get to that point and things become less stressful, there's less to worry about, people tend to gravitate towards finding things that they would be concerned about or want to change or something they've been putting off. When life becomes easy, it creates easy times, and that tends to draw the worst out of people. And this is essentially, if you want the best example of this, look at any like far left rally, fucking protest, riot, whatever. Every single fucking person there has got like a fucking nice gold watch on. There's some retiree. There's some fucking young person who's living off of mommy and daddy's pension. Like, they they don't know reality because they lived in this nice easy box where they've never been challenged in their life, and they are doing this type of crazy radical behavior because they're fucking bored. They have nothing else to do. Nobody has put them in a position where they have to work hard and continue to stay focused and busy to do something. So then they act out. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with a fucking dog. If you don't if you don't have a way to keep your dog busy, whether through physical exercise, training, all that stuff, playing with them, they will act out. They will start tearing up your fucking house. It's the same way. It's the same thing. Speaking of which, there's my dog right there. You can't. There, she's right there behind the blanket. Ooh, cute little girl. She's taking a nap. But yeah,
Adult women can be flat chested, right? Like that actually exists in real life. Like adult human
washboards.
women can have small boobs. We love all titties here on the Shoe on Head channel. All titties is good titties. End of story. Women
True.
fantasy. A boyfriend with depth and a loving, soft, deeply caring side of them. Men's fantasy. 12-year-old anime girl who looks and speaks like a toddler. Also notice how she's literally the shape and size of a child. Yuck. Have you people ever seen a child? No. You're all childless. Silly me. She's not even that short. She's just sitting. See, like when they're laying side by side, she's like a full-grown adult woman.
Yeah, she's quite literally sitting for the majority of the fucking show. So it's like, or the majority of the movie. So how can you even gauge something like that? Oh, I know how, because you didn't watch the frickin' movie, bro.
Why do these people look at this and immediately think of
Ugh.
child rape? Go to therapy. And listen, I know
Yeah.
with anime it can get a
Take your crazy meds.
little weird, right? Like, excuse me, poo poo pee pee chan.
To be fair, she is correct. She is correct about this. Listen, hold on. I am a veteran in the anime community. You guys, if you're born in the year 2000 or more, you are a part of the PG anime community. This is the community that has undergone a lot of regulations and censorship and changes to what is considered okay in artistic standards. Before this happened, up until I would say about 2006, up until about 2006, anime was still pretty much niche underground. Um, there were a lot of very, very, very questionable and not even questionable, just straight up terrible shows that were released that had portrayed scenes, dialogue, and overall storylines that would never, I mean, never see any sort of screen today. So, before everybody started cracking down with the regulations and having to kind of hone in on this medium because it just wasn't popular then, so nobody cared. But nowadays, people care. And there were a lot of fucking dark ass shows in several ways that shouldn't have been and have scarred me for life. So I don't want to hear shit from anybody about shows that exist now versus shows that existed then. Shut the fuck up. Also, if you do want to know what those dark shows are like, they are piratable, but that is not advice. I do not offer that to you as a suggestion. It is just something that still simply exists. It's the same thing as Rule 34. I don't suggest you go there, but if you do, it's your own fucking problem.
Chan is 2,000 years old, and this is Poo Poo Pee Pee Chan. But this does not even look like a child. This looks like a cute woman. This is like a random rant, but I feel like there are no more cute women nowadays. You know what I mean?
I think people forget like how petite Japanese people are. And like their whole medium is based off of the people that exist in their culture, in their country. So it like I don't know. I guess like majority of anime like portrayals are literally of that. But if you drew those same things even younger, it is going to look bad 9 times out of 10. And I'm not trying to like defend like pedo bullshit, right? Obviously, like there's a line and it has definitely been crossed before. But nowadays, I don't even remember a single instance that wasn't like a real life person actually physically in Japan where this type of behavior was portrayed in such a nasty way. So yeah, I don't get it personally. I don't see where people can find stuff like this. So that's how I know that it's just crazy radical bullshit.
You have all like the insta baddies, the e-thots, the e-girls, the muscle mommies, the boss babes, the boy babes. But I feel like every woman is just hot now. Which, by the way, I don't think is healthy for the male psyche.
Yeah, that's just not reality, bro. That's just not reality. The reality is that there's levels to this shit and you see that reality if you fucking go outside and touch grass and stop fucking twiddling your twid in your grandma's fucking basement that she probably forgot you even live in. You shut in piece of shit.
Whatsoever. You shouldn't wake up and be able to scroll through pictures of like the hottest woman you've ever seen in your life like 20 times before you've had like your morning cup of coffee. You shouldn't log in and immediately be one-shotted by 1010s all day, as if that wouldn't make you go insane, as if that wouldn't make you crash out. Like back in the day, you'd probably see like one fine dame on your bus ride to work, and you'd think about her for 40 years until the day you die.
Bam.
That's how it used to be. That's how it should be. Now every woman is like a crazy, hot, unobtainable Instagram goddess with the fattest of ass. Zoomers don't know how good we had it. You'd go to Blockbuster, and the 21-year-old cashier behind the counter would be the most adorable woman you've ever seen. No Botox, no lip filler, just a pure soul, full of joy and whimsy. And now women are full of hate and SSRIs. But they're hot. They're hotter than they've ever been. They're hotter and more depressed than they've ever been in history. Sad. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, anime. I didn't take my Vyvanse today, could you tell?
Bro. Oh my god, dude. Vyvanse and Adderall are two things that I will never take again in my fucking life. Listen, I am not trying to give you medical advice, all right? But I will say you don't need those fucking meds, bro. You don't need those meds. I understand that your ADHD is fucking intimidating, all right? And it scares you. And when you don't take those meds, all those thoughts and everything you don't know how to handle, it comes rushing to your head all at the same time, and it's overwhelming. The truth of the matter is, it is possible. You can break down those thoughts, you can get rid of them, you can continue to move forward, you can find a way to focus on tasks. It is a thing, it is doable. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes a lot of looking inside yourself to find the will and strength to do so. But once you do, my friend, the grass is truly greener on the other fucking side. Okay? Speaking from experience, all right? I took my first Vyvanse at 12 years old. All right? I took my last Adderall at 18 years old, and I never fucking went back. It took me probably 2 years to get adjusted to not having any sort of medication, but I did it. I figured out how to navigate that crazy stream that was constantly playing in my head and not giving me a break. Turns out, fucking fantastic when you do. It's so nice. Oh, oh.
Men's fantasy: a big titty woman with the face of a 16-year-old that is useful for cooking, cleaning, and sex. Women's fantasy: gets treated like a queen and a man who keeps tracks of our periods so he can take care.
I'm just saying, but the top one literally describes Uzaki-chan. I'm just saying. And that show's fucking popular. Also just saying.
Of us. I think I speak for a lot of women here when I say our fantasies do not, in fact, include men tracking our periods. Personally, if my husband was like, honey, just a reminder you're in your luteal phase, I'm taking the kids. Men like to pretend they want this, and then they beat their wife when dinner isn't ready, or they're taking the kids. Personally, if my speak for a lot of men who that is useful for.
That's crazy.
When I say our fantasies do not, in
I just
fact,
had to make sure I heard that right.
include men tracking our periods.
That's
Personally,
crazy.
if my husband was like, honey, just a reminder you're in your luteal phase, I'm taking the kids. Men like to pretend they want this, and then they beat their wife when dinner isn't ready, or their son when he's misbehaving. First of all, I'm sorry that happened to you, but there are in fact good men out there. I've seen them.
The way that I was raised and the way that I will raise my future generation is the punishment should always befit the crime, right? So obviously, you're in the kitchen, right? They're pouring a glass of milk, they accidentally knock it over. Am I going to beat their ass for knocking over a glass of milk? No. No. I'm going to say, "Oh, it's okay, stuff happens, here's some paper towels." But say I'm home on the couch. Mom's in the kitchen. She brings a plate. Kid says no. He throws the food at the mom. Nah. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take you to the fucking garage, put a fucking boxing glove on, and I'm going to hit you as hard as I fucking can. Are you kidding me? Hell no. The punishment always befits the crime. Okay? You ain't going to do that. You ain't going to do that. No, 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 no. She didn't put in the work, made you a nice Michelin star level meal. Come on now. Come on now. Nah. Nah. That's crazy disrespectful. No way. No way. Never.
Some may be in this very audience. Sorry, I couldn't keep a straight face. This is the shoe on head audience. You're all gremlins. Male fantasy equals
I refuse. I'm a drow. Just saying.
a woman that can't run away from him, a woman that's dependent on him. Interesting. When men are involved, it's basic survival instinct to assume the worst. Men are guilty until they prove themselves innocent. You know what? I take my opinions back on free speech. I changed my mind. No more free speech. No more free speech until you.
Unfortunately, the last statement was actually correct. This part here, men are guilty until they prove themselves innocent. In almost every biased court of law, that is always how it starts. As somebody who went through the adoption system and the CPS bullshit, all that shit as a kid, and why I ended up getting moved around like a fucking hot potato. 9 times out of 10, they go for the guy first. And then they ask what the mother did. And it's like, what the fuck? Are you fucking serious? It's actually nuts.
Worst. Men are guilty until they prove themselves innocent. You know what? I take my opinions back on free speech. I changed my mind. No more free speech. No more free speech until you bitches learn to behave. A woman's fantasy is a man who won't rape her, and a man's fantasy is raping a woman.
What the hell?
I'm sorry, where is the rape, ma'am? Maybe that's how you see it, because you're brainwashed to hate men. So true. I hate how. But in reality, women are the real demons here. Oh, god damn it. We just want a happy relationship. Is it so much to ask for? Yes. Yes, it is. Oh look, more misogynistic Gooner fantasy slop written by misogynistic
Gooner? It's not even Gooner at all. Oh my god.
Gooner men. This is why 70% of anime is garbage. So, here's the thing. That, misogynistic Gooner fantasy slop written by misogynistic Gooner men was actually written by Saiko Tanabe. A woman. A woman wrote this story. And I feel like a very important detail everyone is sleeping on when they covered this was the fact that this is very much the female fantasy as well. A man loving you for who you are despite your flaws, literally sweeping you off your feet and carrying you around on adventures, helping you live out your dreams, face your fears, and supporting you through the good and bad times. You're going to sit here and tell me that's not the female fantasy too? Is this not the basic female fantasy? Is this not the knight in shining armor coming to rescue you and falling in love with you? Why on earth are so many women so mad at this? Are men now the hopeless romantics? Are men now the ones yearning for a fairy tale romance?
I guess that's kind of true, isn't it? On the small percentage of the civil war between the genders um on the internet, that is, I'm thinking about it, and that is kind of true. Yeah, I guess I don't really know because my exposure to this stuff is like I watch a video similar to hers where somebody covers like crazy radical freaking tweets or whatever. So like I only get this stuff through like third party reaction. So it's kind of like I don't know if I'm familiar enough with it to be like I, I don't know. I'm just not. I'm not even gonna try to wrap my head around this stuff. I'm just gonna let it happen. Let it go. You know, like Frozen.
Is this why all the Disney remakes are like, she's not gonna be saved by the prince, she's a strong, independent woman? Meanwhile,
I was kidding.
men still want to be the prince, men still want to be the knight in shining armor. Men are like, I will save you from your monotonous 9-to-5 job. I will give you a house and babies. And women are like, no, I must be an actuarial consultant. Be gone, vile misogynist. Is that what is occurring here? Also, that aside, there literally is a gender-swapped version of this story called Perfect World. It is a mango? Mango? I don't know. Do
Close enough.
not come for me, weebs. Men will statistically leave their wives and partners the moment they find out they're disabled or have a life-threatening condition. You're right, it is a fantasy. Actually, that study was
Damn.
debunked by the authors themselves, who admitted they did the math wrong. It's actually not much higher, but then again, even if it was, and it happens, I've seen it happen to people, it's terrible. Marriage should be through sickness and through health, but that's not really the point here. And the fact that so many people are focusing on the wheelchair part of this just proves that they just don't get it. The ones of pure mind and pure soul.
Yeah, I don't know. Like these days, legally, I would never get married. Not one time in my life. I'm never gonna get married. Never signing any paper for nothing. I'm still 100% down with the ceremony because it's like the woman's day, like that's her thing, right? So I'm 100% backing the ceremony part, right? But the signing of the documents, nah, nah.
Will get it. But these fucking semen demons out here, they don't get it. But not all semen demons. The amount of people in comments who just don't get that men want a cute, loving girlfriend is beyond me. They call them creeps for wanting actual love and not a girl boss who only wants your money.
Facts.
Ah, thank you, a sane person. Hopefully the replies aren't full of people calling her a pick-me. Pick-me
Oh,
alert,
fuck.
least obvious pick-me. Me, pick me please. Hope he picks you.
This is how you know they're a fucking loser, too. Hold on a minute.
Ah, thank you, a sane person. Hopefully the replies aren't full of people calling her a pick-me. Pick-me alert, least obvious pick-me. Me.
If this is you in 2025, I literally hope that you are walking down, I guess, like, well, actually, no, you wouldn't. I was gonna say, like, when you're like walking to the gas station or whatever, because like you probably don't have a car or anything like that, because you're like a shut-in loser. I was hoping that like some kid would like freaking fold your ankle with a scooter, but yeah. Now that I think about it, this type of person never leaves the house, so it really wouldn't work. Shit.
Pick me please. Hope he picks you, sis. Pick me. An incel could have written this.
Also, I do want to clarify before this gets taken out of
Picks
fucking
you,
context.
sis. Pick me. An incel.
I have nothing against this person. I'm talking specifically having an anime profile picture. Okay? Just saying. Just want to clarify that. I get they're doing it to, advertise their VTuber model.
Could have written this. Fuck. Why are so many VTubers either pick-me's or racist? You mean why do so many female VTubers disagree with you? Why so many aren't towing the mainstream liberal feminist NPC line? Because they can. See, the most powerful
True.
weapon women have against other women is social ostracization. You don't want to be seen as a pick-me or a racist, so you keep your mouth shut in order to survive in female social circles. But in the cases of VTubers, virtual YouTubers, they're basically anonymous. They can say anything
True.
they want. They're basically wearing a mask. They're
It could be just like me and just say, hey.
free from the chains of the eternal HR Longhouse. But apparently, even being anonymous online does not save them, because they still get doxxed for simply not hating men.
True.
Lovely. Maybe I should save this rant for a different video someday. Moving on. Men are
Another
why
one.
we can't have nice things, by the way. First of all, men make all the things.
Damn.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you. Also, I just realized it was a man saying that. It was a whole ass man saying men are why we can't have nice things. I don't deserve this trophy. This is for you, sir. This is for you. I'm not worthy. Listen, I make women jokes. I'm very critical of feminism and propaganda aimed at women. But you will never catch me in a million years saying some shit like women are why we can't have nice things. I have a mom.
True.
I have female family members. I have female friends. Maybe one day I'll have a daughter. Women make the world a beautiful place, and like men, can be flawed and deserve criticism, like anyone else. But there's something genuinely so cucked about people who put down their own gender or race. Oh god, race. Self-hating white people. Don't get me started on self-hating white people. White people are so evil. I hate being white. White people can't dance. White people food is so gross. You're not getting into Wakanda, bro. You're not getting invited to the cookout. Enough. But yeah, women were not the only ones who.
And the funny thing is, like, those type of people, they don't have a black friend like anywhere in their vicinity. Not even on social media. They don't have a single black friend. They're just doing it because I guess I don't really know why they're doing it aside from the fact that they're fucking psychotic.
Who had a problem with this. There were a lot of men who didn't quite relate to this being the average male fantasy. It's fine to love the disabled. I didn't need to remind you that. But you glorify it? This anime is certainly Marxist propaganda.
Bro, how reaching can you be, bro?
The movie is about him taking a job as her caretaker, and when he learns of her dreams, he makes it his mission to help her dreams come true. So it is Marxist propaganda to help a disabled person pursue their dreams? Yeah, it's
Facts.
woven in. Empathy is the target of propaganda. Marxism is when girl in wheelchair. I love this. Empathy is the target of propaganda. Every piece of media that makes you feel empathy.
There's always an answer that they give, but 10 out of 10 times the answer doesn't make any fucking sense. And they're sitting on their side of the conversation, either looking at their phone or on their computer or whatever, and they're cheesed up thinking that they said something good. Like, no, everything you said was retarded, start to finish. You didn't have a point from the initial statement you fucking made.
Empathy is communism. Political brain rot. If you're at the point where you see this and you're thinking of communism, you need to log off.
True.
You are unwell. I'm
True.
sorry, but when I reproduce,
It's called being lost in the sauce.
I don't want a high probability of my offspring being mentally or physically retarded. We need a better class of incels whose bar is higher than the retarded. She's not retarded, she has a
What the
spinal
fuck?
injury that's not genetic. Also, what is this LARP? I love how
How do they use? It's the complete wrong terminology.
everyone is just kind of having like a normal conversation about this clip, and this guy just comes out of nowhere like, I would never put my pure white seed in such a vile creature. Like, you absolutely know this guy has a non-white girlfriend. They all do. All these like I hate white people women
Oh,
always have white
God.
boyfriends. All these I hate non-white people boys always have non-white girlfriends. I don't know what it is, but I've seen it too many times. I guarantee you when this man logs off of his Black Sun Roman statue Twitter account, he's clapping Latina booty cheeks. My fantasy is not being a simp, but okay. Fellas, is it simping to love a woman? Nah, this is not the male fantasy. That man is a beta male. If she wasn't in a wheelchair, she would leave him for Chad. Fellas, is it beta to love a woman? This is not my fantasy. This is some gay shit, to be honest. Fellas,
Bro,
to love a woman. This is not
this is the person that has only seen Dragon Ball Z, and that's their whole concept of anime.
my fantasy. This is some gay shit,
Typical shonen fanboy.
to be honest. Fellas, is it gay to love a woman? What no pussy does to a motherfucker. Brother, I've seen what pussy does to a motherfucker, and it's far worse.
Yeah, apparently they'd never been to Vegas. You never been to a strip club? Oh man. Hey. Hey. Not having it isn't the thing you gotta worry about, bro.
The average male fantasy is taking care of their crippled wife. I don't think I've ever had that fantasy before. I thought it was gonna be about going on some quest to kill the dragon to win the princess or something. It is. That is the average male fantasy. But there are no dragons to slay. There are no.
So this is how I know this person has no idea what they're talking about. I thought it was gonna be about going on some quest to kill the dragon to win the princess or something. You would have known that if you would have just seen the thumbnail of the movie you were going to watch, that it was definitely not going to be that. And they're always stuck on this fantasy fetish thing. Why? 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 Stop being a fucking pervert, dude. Get a life.
Thought it was gonna be about going on some quest to kill the dragon to win the princess or something. It is. That is the average male fantasy. But there are no dragons to slay, there are no princesses to save. But there is that little old lady in the grocery store who can't quite reach that top shelf. There's that heavy box the pretty girl you work with can't quite lift herself. There's that jar of tomato sauce your wife can't quite open. There's that Lego set your little son can't quite put together himself. Or there is this paraplegic girl who wants to see the ocean. This is
True.
the Princess and the Dragon story. And despite what many are told, men do have a lot of love to give. And they want some kind of excuse or
Apparently, for them though, it's like Beauty and the Beast.
mechanism to show that love. In a world where men expressing themselves is either seen as toxic or gay. And one way of expressing that love is solving problems. Men fucking love solving problems. I don't know what it is. They also love reading Wikipedia articles. The amount of times I walk
That's why I became a tradesman. I literally became a tradesman because I have a weird attraction to seeing something broken and fixing it.
over and my husband is reading a random fucking Wikipedia article about like the world's tallest buildings or like a random battle in World War II. I didn't know if this was autism or what, but apparently it's a man thing. Anyway, yes, men love solving problems. And in a world
Fair.
that makes them feel useless, makes them feel like they have no purpose, men desperately feel like they need to prove their worth. They are desperately looking for a purpose in life. So it is not at all shocking to me that the modern young man is seeing a clip like this and longing for this. A lot of modern men don't have a chance to prove themselves, to make something of their lives. They don't have a chance to provide anything for anyone because they don't
I see what she's saying, but there is a degree of this that is truly the guy's fault. And this is from somebody who came from hard times. I came from fucking hard times. And it took me a long time to get here. It took me almost damn near fucking 30 fucking goddamn years to get to the point that I'm at now. Which I would say I'm currently fucking on my way to hitting my peak. And it's like the first time. Well, when did it start? I'd say last no, 2 years ago. 2 years ago I would say is when it started. And I started like finding where I truly wanted to go in life. And when you figure out stuff like that, it takes a huge weight off your shoulders, and then you begin to think about other things, and you're like wondering how with how many aspects of yourself you can improve. And that's usually when you end up finding somebody who appreciates you for who you are and they see all the work that you put in. And that's like truly what the guy wants at the end of the day. Like once you get to that point and you're on your way up the mountain, like running into that one girl that appreciates you and can see and literally just take one look at you and say, "Wow, fucking A." Like like you really went through it to get here. And I don't know. Like I think that's truly what like men want at the end of the day. They just want to be appreciated to a degree that isn't superficial.
have anything to provide and they don't have anyone. They are doing everything their grandfathers did, but seeing none of the results. They're lost. What can
I don't like this mentality either. You have to change. You have to change with time. Like you can't like you can take on some aspects of like what your grandfather did, what your father did, but you're not them. And it's not the same time as they were around. The rules have changed. Everything is different. You have to understand that. Keep some of those core values, keep some of those things that you would consider positive and adapt them to the new way that you have to live. That's just how it is. You got to evolve, you got to change, you got to adapt. Adapt is the big that's the adaptability is so underrated. You have to be able to adapt to so many things nowadays because the world is moving at a pace that it was not before. Everything was much slower, much different than it is nowadays. So yeah, you have to make the adjustments and improve yourself in a way that one works for you, but two works for building up this image of yourself that you want to see in the future.
They provide. And as I said earlier, her being in a wheelchair is the protector and provider instinct taken to a extreme. And yes, it is a fantasy considering if you ask anyone who's actually in a wheelchair, they know it's not all butterflies and rainbows and they know that it's hard on relationships. It can be difficult on their partner. But just like in the movie, it's not shown as butterflies and rainbows. Josie feels like a burden. But towards the end of the movie, the guy takes on that burden. Not because he gets something in return, but because it's his duty. Because it makes her happy, which makes him happy in return. Loyalty, duty, virtue, acts of service, big or small. Men live for that shit. And yes, these are stereotypes. Not everyone fits into these boxes, blah, 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 blah. But for the most part, it's true.
Yeah, she's right. She's right. In a general sense, I do think she's correct.
When many men look at this relationship, that is what they see. And a lot of modern women are looking at this relationship and being disgusted because, in a way, it's the complete inverse of the strong, independent woman they've been sold. They've been told they
Yeah, women are literally now becoming that Yu-Gi-Oh meme where it's like, it should have been me.
need to be. The modern woman crafted by modern
But because women are much more emotional, they just crash out on fucking Twitter.
Disney for modern audiences. Unlike the Hollywood crafted modern woman, this woman does need her man. She is not strong and
True.
she's not independent, at least physically. This doesn't mean she's like an empty vessel with no thoughts or freedom. No, in fact, in the movie, Josie does roll away from him a few times. It is a fantasy not because of a power imbalance, but because the man has a tangible purpose, and the woman is willingly and lovingly letting him fulfill that purpose.
Because I can depend on you. I know that if I ever feel frightened, I can just reach out to you.
Men simply want something good to die for, to make it beautiful to live. This manifests in a lot of ways, but the most common is having a loving partner and or a family. Something unobtainable to many people nowadays. So yes, literally one of the most normal things ever is becoming a fantasy. Sad. Also, men will deny this, but they absolutely have a biological clock. It may not hit in your teens or your 20s, but one day you're going to have a dream. You have a little daughter making you pancakes with your wife in the morning, and you're not going to be able to get it out of your head. And that is the male biological clock.
True.
Everything you do, the money you make,
For me, the vision, the initial vision in my head was opening the door and then just seeing my daughter running towards me. That was like my biological clock, my internal signal that was like, "Hey, get your fucking shit together. You wanna get to this point? You better start working. You better start working fucking hard."
working that grating 9 to 5 job, it will all be for something bigger and more important than yourself one day. You will come
Yep.
home to a warm and happy home, greeted by people who care about you, and love you, and rely on you, and everything will make sense then. Until then, you'll just be on the internet, being called a misogynist, for wanting something
True.
bigger and more important than yourself, for wanting something beautiful and normal. And that is the average male fantasy. That and 3 hot chicks at once. Hell yeah, brother! Haha, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So that was
Amen, brother.
that little video.
Amen.
Men in the comments, let me know. Am I correct? Is that the average male fantasy? Or is it not that deep? Men and women in the comments, what is your fantasy? And no, I don't mean that. I don't want to hear about how you want to be crushed by a 12-foot futa. That is between you and God, not you and Shoeonhead.
Damn.
I mean, what is your ultimate dream? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want a nice big family one day?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound cliche, but traveling the world is definitely one, like a bucket list thing for me. Just on a personal note, is going to Japan and climbing Mount Fuji. Oh, yes. I don't even care if it's a fucking rainstorm up there, bro. I just want to do it one time. Cause like a little bit of backstory about me, I used to smoke. All right, I was vaping for a while. I quit both of those things for the pursuit, and it got heavy into training for the pursuit of going to Japan someday to climb Mount Fuji to the top and say I fucking did that shit. I fucking did that shit. So that's my goal, my future goal that I will accomplish at some point. But W Shoe on Head, this video, fantastic. If you guys liked it, make sure you go to her channel, give her a sub, give her a like. All right, a raw 1.6 million views, fucking deserved. Oh my god, this shit was good. I enjoyed this. If you guys want to see more of this stuff, make sure you like, subscribe, comment on this video, and click one of the other videos to see me rant about bullshit that I have nothing to do with, probably. All right, bye bye.